Abduction, Chapter 12, Part 2. "I've been Maxim's manager for the past 2 years," said Valeri. "He seems like a boss that cares about his employees," I said. "He looks after those who are loyal to him." "What happens if you aren't loyal to him?" "Then you aren't around anymore." "Oh," I said as I got onto the treadmill and placed my water bottle onto the holder. "They don't work here anymore?" "They can leave on their own, or Maxim lets them go," said Valeri as he mounted the other machine. "After you've been with Maxim for a while, you understand what he wants from us." "And that includes looking for aliens?" I asked. Valeri laughed. "Duh. I asked him once in a while if he wants to come with me, but he always says he has things to do." My interview with Valeri was giving me mixed signals. Plus, I didn't like the thoughts running through my head, but curiosity was growing. Who were the two men I was now involved with? My gut instinct was telling me to be careful. Maxim was dangerous and could be involved with some missing people in Lutsk. I could not be sure if he was or was not part of the disappearances. Even Valeri was a mystery to me. He seemed like a good guy, but he could be involved if he was Maxim's right-hand man. Valeri and I started the treadmills and let our chatter die down. I saw Natasha watching us through the reflection in the mirror. If she was involved, then she was playing her part exceptionally well. Natasha could be manipulative, but I doubted her involvement, though. She was too lovely. Without any proof that Maxim Volkov was a mastermind abductor, I could think what I wanted. I also had to keep my behavior towards Maxim neutral until I understood what he was all about. As much as I hate to admit it, I would have to have another meeting with Maxim. If Valeri was not going to divulge any information, I had no choice if I were to unravel this mystery. I didn't want to believe he was kidnapping people, as much as I didn't want to think that aliens took people from Lutsk for nefarious purposes. "Does he ever tell you that he wants to go out on a certain night to look for UFOs?" I asked as I slowed the treadmill down to walk. Valeri did the same and motioned to Natasha. "Sometimes Maxim wants me to look in a certain area of town. There's not always in the farmer's field. There have been other UFO sightings all over the city. The field is just the best place to get a clear view." "When do you plan to go out again?" I asked as I caught the smell of pretty soft perfume that Natasha was wearing. It was just enough to tease my nose and get my attention. "I think we'll go out in a few days. I would like to see if they will take me for a ride in their spaceship," Valeri said with a laugh. "You're serious about being abducted by aliens," I said. "What do you mean?" asked Valeri. "My girlfriend wants to be abducted by aliens," I replied. "That's right. You said that when we first met. And you don't want to go?" "I would rather stay here on Earth with my feet on the ground." Valeri laughed heartily. "Okay, my friend. When we go and the aliens come, I will tell them to leave you and just take me." "I would appreciate that," I said with a big smile and a chuckle. "Natasha," said Valeri, "have you brought our guest a towel? I will show him our sauna. Tell Maxim when he arrives that Richard and I will be there." Natasha must have applied perfume when she went back to the welcome booth. I did not notice it before when I entered the gym, but the scent was tantalizing. She handed me a towel and looked at me with a shy smile. Her eyes sparkled. I didn't want to disappoint her in her advances towards me. If she joined us in the sauna, it would get a little uncomfortable in the steam room. So far, there was no indication she would intended to accompany Valeri and me. Natasha peeled off and left Valeri and me as we headed toward the locker room door. The locker room was not anything special. That is, if you overlooked the granite tabletop for the wash basins, the chandeliers that hung overhead, and the monogrammed initial for club members. The room was nothing like I have seen in the best country clubs. I could only imagine what the steam room looked like. "Why don't you want to have a trip in a spaceship?" asked Valeri. I disrobed and put a towel around my body before putting my clothes into the locker provided me. The thought of it scares me, to be honest. I wasn't about to admit to Valeri my first-hand experience with alien monsters, and this fact was the basis of my fright. Valeri nodded before leading the way to the sauna. "There's nothing to be scared of, my friend. We will look at your body and see that there's no need to do experiments on you. You look very fit." "Thanks for the compliment, but I could use to come to your club more often to achieve any real sort of fitness," I muttered, settling onto the wooden bench. The steam felt wet and warm. I closed my eyes to relax, and enjoy the sensation. Valeri was quiet, which was uncharacteristic of him. All the troubles that cluttered my mind melted away and went down the floor drain. All the stress of my relationship with Echo, whom I loved with everything I had in me, seemed trivial. I felt the disturbance in the flow of steam that led to me opening my eyes. The smell of Natasha's perfume mingled with the mist. I was suddenly nervous. The last thing I wanted was to be in the steam room with the gorgeous Natasha. I heard whispers exchanged between Valerie and Natasha and relaxed. She wasn't joining us. "Richard, my friend," said Valerie, "I must go, but you can stay and enjoy the steam bath. Natasha tells me that Maxim has invited you and your girl to dinner tomorrow night. Instructions to his house will be given to you before you leave. I will see you there." The stars were aligning. I needed to see Maxim again, and I get a dinner invitation. My mind's eye was working overtime on what sort of house Maxim Volkov lived in, and it was possible to get the answers I need to solve the mysteries of the disappearances. Valerie left, leaving me contemplating what to do next. Being invited to Maxim's for dinner, I found it strange. What was his purpose for the invitation?